Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a 12-win guide for the brand new ZOMBROCK challenge, which is coming out in 12 hours time, probably a couple of hours when I drop this video. But basically, you win a free skin if you win this challenge. 12 wins shouldn't be too hard, but if you guys are a little worried about getting this skin, I'll be giving you guys all the best composition tips and whatever else you need to get this skin, because normally the other challenges, you know, they've been like sprays or they've been like profile icons, but this one is a lot more exciting because it's a skin, right? Everyone wants it. So before we jump into it, make sure you're using the creator code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, guys, so jumping into set number 1, we have Gem 4 Gem Grab. So for this map, I think that the new brawlers, well, the brawlers with the new gears, are really going to excel in this first map. So that's going to be brawlers like Rico, like Amber, like Jean. But you've already seen on the screen the best brawlers, in my opinion, for Gem 4. I feel like the meta will shift a little bit, but still the same predominant brawlers are going to be your best bet when it comes down to this map in particular. So in terms of gem carries then, so you've always got the generic gem carries. I think there's 2 gem carries basically that are going to be way better than the rest. Poco and Jean. Still feel like Poco can be pretty decent on this map. It's pretty easy to scout the bushes, especially as set number 1. You can never really go wrong as a Poco. You're always going to be able to hold pressure within the middle and collect gems with a Poco, so you can be pretty safe in there. Jean, if you're a little bit more skilled, you can go with the Jean, just because, especially with that new gear, I feel like it's going to be so insane. The vision gear, being able to scout the lanes as well, just makes it such an OP choice for that mid. So now talking about the lanes. So Rico as a lane used to be insane on Gem 4 probably like 6 months ago or so, but then he kind of fell off in the meta a little bit. But now, since this reload gear has taken well effect into the game, he's just going to be broken. He's going to be spamming shots left, right and center. He's going to be able to scout his lane literally all of the time, and that's why I think Rico is an essential pick on this map. Same goes for Amber. She's going to be crazy OP. The ability to burn the grass as well with her super, and again, she's just going to spam shots relentlessly with this reload gear. It's going to be incredibly toxic, so make sure to abuse those brawlers as much as possible. Otis, you can always bet on Otis. He's not been nerfed whatsoever. If anything, he's better since the introduction of the new gears. That supercharging gear is really going to help him out. You can even play him as a mid on this map because it's pretty easy to hold your ground as a mid with Otis. Lola can be pretty decent as well with the new reload gear, being able to scout the lane pretty easily. Tara, you can never go wrong with Tara on Gem 4, especially in the earlier stages. You might see a bit more tanky brawlers, so again, Tara can always be that carry brawler. Specifically, if you're playing with randoms, Tara is probably a really good brawler. Janet's going to be just good literally everywhere, and there's a few other alternative picks, but you should never really go wrong with the first suggested composition. All of these brawlers so OP with the reload gear. Okay, so now moving on to set number 2, we have Safe Zone Heist. So for Safe Zone Heist, or just Heist in general, I think the brawlers with the brand new reload gear are going to be even better in Heist, because you're going to be able to get more DPS onto the safe. You add this in turn with the damage gear as well. It's just going to make it so you're going to melt the safe so quickly. So that's why you need 1 of 2 brawlers in particular just to melt the safe on this map, but also to break open the map. So for me, I feel like you have to have either Brock or a Colt. Brock or Colt going to be able to break open that right hand lane for either your Lola, Colette, any brawler like that. You can just send down that right hand side and then send your main damage dealer down the left. Main reason why, because it's going to be a little bit easier to hide behind those barrels in the kind of left mid area. You're going to be either Colette there, or Brock or Colt, as I said. And then as a mid then, so 8-bit has the brand new reload gear as well. You can just imagine how much damage he's going to be able to do with that gear. It's going to be absolutely insane, so make use of that for sure. For like Otis as well, you can never really go wrong as an Otis as a mid or a lane. It's going to be pretty good in literally every single matchup, so I didn't want to be too boring with Otis, but he's literally like the best brawler when it comes down to versatility. So if you're really struggling on brawlers to go, Otis is fairly easy to play, so make sure to make use of that. Lola's going to be absolutely insane on Heist as well. So again, another damage dealer. Damage dealers are so OP in this Heist meta, mainly because you only need like a couple of deaths and then you can literally delete the safe like 50% in one attack, and that's why I'd rather go for damage dealers rather than control brawlers when it comes down to this Heist meta. Belle, she's going to be really good in the middle against pretty much everything without reload gear, so you can never really go wrong with any of these brawlers. This is going to be set number 2. Let's hop into set number 3. Okay, so now moving on to set number 3, we have Beach Ball Brawl Ball. So for this map in particular, I think wall break options are completely essential. So either a Ruffs or Griff, or maybe even even both is definitely essential to success on this map. So the way this map is played, specifically in competitive, especially with Griff, you want to be opening up the middle section as much as possible. Save one wall break for the offensive walls, so basically the walls near the opponent's spawn. You're gonna be able to score goals a lot easier if you break open those walls, because it's really tight angle. It can be pretty hard to score if you don't actually open it up. So as I said, Griff's gonna be really good. You have 3 different wall break options right there in terms of his gadget, so that can be really good. You've got Ruffs, of course, who's going to break open the map pretty easily with his supers, and just overall it's really going to allow a brawler like B in the middle to thrive. B is just amazing in this meta. She received basically no nerfs. The nerf to her gadget was literally, I mean, it was okay, but it didn't really implement like a big enough nerf, which I thought she really would have needed. You got brawlers like Amber, who I feel like it's going to be even better in this meta in comparison to previous metas. You get like a wall break option as well, and pair that with an Amber. It's just going to make for ultimate control. It's going to be so hard for the enemies to really do anything against that. Then you can go with like a Squeak as well. So Squeak is so good because literally one gadget in that middle grass, literally anyone can't move in that middle. That's for 20, well, not 20 seconds, 10 seconds. It used to be 20 seconds, but 10 seconds is still a lot of control. It's going to enable you to push up as a team pretty easily, and it just allows you to get that ultimate pressure at the beginning. Gus is a pretty good brawler overall, maybe a little bit riskier when it comes down to if you're playing with randoms or whatever, but if you've got a decent team, Gus can absolutely dominate on this map. Spike is actually a really underrated on this pick. I see him quite a fair bit in competitive on this map in particular. I don't really see him being played anywhere else other than this map. I just think there's a couple of choke points where his super pretty good. He's really good on lane on this map in particular, so that's why he can be pretty strong, and he's also a good counter to the likes of Griff and Surge as well. Rico can be somewhat decent, but I think the main brawlers, Otis as well. I didn't even mention Otis, but do I even need to mention Otis, because literally he's the most OP brawler in this meta. So those are going to be the best brawlers for Brawl Ball. As I said, make sure you get that wall break open, allow the B to dominate, and it should be GG from there. So that's going to be set number 3. Let's hop into set number 4. Okay, so now moving on to set number 4, we have Dueling Beetles Hot Zone. So for this map in particular, I don't think the meta has changed too much from the previous one. But of course, with the introduction of the super gear with Sprout, unless the enemy has a wall break, it's pretty much GG if you're a really strong Sprout, because you get your super with 4 shots instead of 5 now. He already was a decent like last pick on this map in particular, but I don't even think that you need to really, well, like, you obviously can't pick him last pick because it's not a draft, but you don't need to really worry if you're a strong Sprout player, because you're going to be cycling walls like it's nothing. It's going to be so easy for you to dominate in the middle if you're a decent Sprout, by the way. So it could be a more risky strategy because it is the 12-win challenge, or you could just go for like a run and gun composition. So there's multiple brawlers that you can pick for that one. So the likes of B again in the middle, going to absolutely dominate. It sounds like a broken record, but being Otis is the main theme on his video, because they're just so good against everything. So why wouldn't you want to go them specifically inside of this meta? Otis just makes it really easy to lock down a lane, especially with his gadget as well. It allows you to apply a lot of pressure onto your lane, and then you can go with brawlers like Squeak as well, particularly on this map. I say it time and time again, that gadget is just so broken on this map. It literally is made for this map in particular, because it just forces them to go down a different lane, and then makes it even easier for you to hit those shots. You've got Janet as well, who's so easy to push up on this map with, and her super can easily get back control. That's why I like Janet and Bonnie, one of them in particular, just because if you do, for example, get team wiped, their supers make it so easy for you to get back into the game. Griff as well, being able to break open the map really well. Amber with that new reload gear is going to be insane when it comes down to a hot zone. She already was pretty strong. Bonnie, I just absolutely love everywhere right now. So that is going to be set number 4. Let's hop into set number 5. Okay, so now moving on to set number 5, we have Out in the Open. So for this map in particular then, so there's multiple brawlers which I think are like the golden picks. So you've got Brock, which is the first golden pick. So with Brock, you've probably seen a few times in the Power League meta, where you just use his gadget to break open that middle wall, and then probably the left wall as well. And it's going to make it so easy for when you first respawn to push up the map, and it allows you not to get spawn trapped as well. So I think Brock is definitely essential, or at least a wall break option. You could maybe go for a Griff if you don't fancy your chances with a Brock, but I think Brock is just even better in this meta, specifically with the reload gear. Then next up you have Jean then. So Jean is so incredibly strong on this map. He literally is the brawler that people ban off every single time on this map because of the vision gear, being able to scout the grass so easily with his projectiles. I just think this map in particular is completely made for Gene's mechanics, so it's good against everything, so you can never go wrong with a Gene in the middle. And then I went with Squeak, so you can either put Squeak in the middle if you don't fancy a Gene, or just put him out lane. His gadget as well on this map in particular, you put the gadget near the middle so they can't actually cross over to the right hand side. It's going to make it just for such easy kills. Literally every single time you're going to use probably a gadget around, maybe even 2 gadgets in 1 round if you're feeling extra sweaty. Yeah, he's just completely made for this one. You've also got Janet as well, who's able to apply a lot of pressure with her backstage pass gadget. You don't actually need to use the one that ticks down with that totem. You could just use the one that you can just jump aggressively with, or of course get out of danger with that gadget. You've got Gus as well, who's going to be really good when it comes down to maps like this. Same goes with B, Otis as well, Bonnie, all of these different brawlers you can pick if you don't feel comfortable on the more meta brawlers. But the first composition I recommended is definitely the sweatiest one. So that's going to be the 5th set. Let's hop into number 6. Alright guys, moving on to the 6th and final set, we have Canal Grande. So probably one of the worst maps you could end the challenge on, just because of its unpredictableness at the beginning. Like, you can either get screwed over at the beginning by the enemies, and then it's going to be really hard for you to come back because they have ultimate positioning on the map, or you can do that to the enemies. So it's really vital to get a strong start on Canal Grande. It's always been like this, so I always recommend on Canal Grande, no matter what, is to send all 3 people down 1 lane. The main reason you want to do this is because you want to get control of 1 lane straight away, because as I said, once you lose control of both sides of the map, it's pretty much GG. So at least make sure you have one side of the map right. So that's why I recommend the comp that I did. You've got Gene, Squeak, and Janet. So Janet is amazing on this map. I don't need to really specify why she's good in the meta, because she's just good against everything. But the main reason on this map in particular is because of that gadget. You're able to scout the bushes so easily with that gadget. So you could just run up, press the gadget, and you know where everyone is in the bushes straight away. So then you can start to pinch with your teammates and get the opponents down. So that's why Janet is so good on this map, specifically near the grass. And then you've got the likes of Squeak. So again, a brawler that's just amazing on Canal Grande. It's a really squished map in the fact that there's not actually a lot of room to move right. So Squeak shots are going to be so easy to hit and so easy to zone the enemies into a position where you want them to be. So Squeak is always a dominant pick on this map in particular. And then you got Gene. Gene, you can never go wrong on this map. Really easy to scout the bushes with, and just a safe bet. So it's like the number 1 composition. Of course, you've got the introduction of more Brock into the meta, so maybe Brock is a more of a spicy pick on this map. Maybe not your go-to pick, but with the reload gear, I think it could be pretty decent. Either with the reload gear buff and also just a damage buff in general, could actually be a pretty solid pick on this map. You've got Otis, Gus, B, Sprout, even with the introduction of his super gear, Tick as well. There's a lot of choices to be had on this map. Alright guys, it's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know how you do with the challenge. You do have 5 days to complete this one, so it's actually a pretty long time. Normally these challenges I think end pretty sooner, but 5 days to get this skin, so make sure you're taking your time with things, making sure you get a team planned so you can get that skin. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.